2, 3. We're live, Mr. Wade. Are you, sir?
Good night. Good night to our Belizean people, both at home and abroad.
Good night.
Again, I want to say a pleasant good night to you, Mr. Leonard Brackett.
Good night, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I will be the temporary chairman until our chairman, Mr. Gregory Brackett, make himself available. No, he's in the background as usual, Leonard. Queuing up and getting ready. But
Sir.
in the essence of time, Leonard, we always make much of our time, right? And
Yes, sir.
again, I want to welcome our viewers both at home and abroad, and those who will view us a little later on, Leonard, on their own time. Welcome to our 390, 395 edition of our Belizean Affairs show on a chill Monday, Leonard, on a chill Monday in Belize.
And I said, chili, 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 chili,
Chile,
chili.
Chile. Our
Extra chili.
yeah, our little nick of the woods, in this hemisphere, we don't subscribe to these kinds of weather, right, Leonard?
Yes, sir.
This
Well
is
said,
like
sir.
this is like a surprise, right? And
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
um, I wonder why would they get blessed like this, man? It's because of the Prime Minister and the government. You think that's something they come back at way?
I
Some
I
wrongs
will.
what they, some wrongs what they do on our behalf, they come back at we, the general public, for suffer some more, both economically and weather-wise.
Wow,
I'm just being facetious, sir.
yes,
I yield
yeah.
back.
That's something to consider, Leonard. After all, what's really going on in the country. Um, Again, as
Crazy.
always, Leonard, we start our program with a prayer, then followed by a reading, Leonard, and then I ask you to lead us in a prayer, sir, please.
Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
definitely. I'll just bow my head, Mr. Chairman. Divine loving Father, once again we come before thy presence, asking that thou would accept our humble expression of gratitude and thankfulness to thee for having given us the privilege of life, first and foremost, and secondly, for giving us the opportunity to still be alive today among our family members, friends, and loved ones. We pray that thou mayest bless the country of Belize, its people and leadership, that thou would bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership, and that thou would bless our families and friends and loved ones wherever they are. Thou knowest them by name and number. Thou knowest our heart as well, our desires, even our most secret thought, loving Father. Please let the word of our mouth and the meditation of our mind and the contriteness of our soul be acceptable before thy divine presence, now and always. For us these mercies in Jesus' name. And please bless tonight's program as well. Amen.
Thank you, Leonard, for that warm prayer.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
The country and the nation does need prayer, Leonard. And again, I want to give thanks and praise to the Almighty for giving us this day,
Amen.
to be able to do what we do and give us this our breath of life, Leonard. I cannot thank man, but I thank the Almighty for being here. Thank you.
Amen.
And Leonard, I will do a reading, Leonard, from uh, I start. Let's see, from Proverbs, Leonard, from chapter 29, 10 to 20, and and it reads, "Bloodthirsty man hate one who is blameless and seek the life of the upright. A
Mhm.
fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back.
Amen.
If a ruler listen to falsehood, all his officials will be wicked.
Mhm.
A poor man and the oppressor meet together. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both.
Amen.
If a king faithfully judges the poor, his throne will be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom. But a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. When the wicked increase, transgression increase. But the righteous will look upon their downfall.
Amen.
Discipline your son, and he will give you rest. Again, discipline your son, and he will give you rest. He will give delight to your heart.
Amen.
Where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint. But blessed is he who keeps the law. By mere words, a servant is not disciplined, for though he understands, he will not respond. Do not see a man who is hasty in his words. There is more hope for a fool than for him. That's my reading, Leonard, from Proverbs chapter 29, 10 to 20.
Amen.
Uh, Leonard, I will, say a couple of, things that is really going on in our country until our chairman for tonight, you know, shows up. And these are things, Leonard, that we have talked about.
Yes, sir.
So we just want to keep enforcing and keep emphasizing and keep bringing it out there because, Leonard, to me, the more you talk about things, the more people would understand and the more people would take heed. So our in our programs, we usually talk about the ills that is happening in the nation, and we are about people and nation, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
So um again, 2 shows ago, I had talked about the cold front that we had predicted, Leonard. I mean, it was all over the news and the media, right? So it arrives in Belize, and before that, we had said that we had asked the call on the government, to give some blessings to the needy, to the poor, to the people that is out there that for some reason they do not have shelter. They're living in cardboard box, Leonard. You know that. You've seen it.
Bad timing, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. So, and before we came on, we were talking about that too. We were talking about we hope that these people, someone looked at them and helped them, because, Leonard, there's more coal coming,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's another one. That one is about pass, and there's another one that's going to step in, in some hours from now. So I would say this from my heart. I wonder if these people out there in the cardboard boxes, have gotten some help, or gotten some blankets or a little warm something, to put on their stomach. Because not too long ago, Leonard, I don't know if you had remember that this man Johnny Briseño had said it publicly that he's going to take a measly $800,000,
Mm-hmm.
measly, right? To help. I don't know if that money he took was just to reward some of his friends, and in the name of, yeah, we will take some of the homeless and shelter them, or build shelters across the nation. But I don't know what 800,000 could do. So as for me, when that man talks, Leonard, I take him with not one grain of salt. I take him with a whole 100 pound of salt, right? Because as for me, nothing that comes out of that man's mouth, like I've always says, that I believe, right? So we were saying, Leonard, that remember that we say we hope that you know he do follow through and help these people, right?
I hope it does, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. And again, Leonard, we saw the development with the storming of the BTL office, um, and what they had to say about that, and we had talked about it. Um, we had talked about the continuous BTL saga, and today, for some reason, I turn on the news and I watch the. They say, Leonard, that the Northern Caucus within the PUP, not the Northern Caucus for the country or the people, no, the PUP, Johnny Briceño, PUP, Northern Caucus, endorse him in his quest, because it's his quest. The nation did not ask for a BTL acquisition. Am I right, Leonard?
Definitely, the nation is mostly against it, but he's trying to get his political colleagues to weigh in and to say, well, they have the majority people voting for them as the majority government, and therefore, whatever he wants to decide to do, he should just go ahead and do. But no way in the laws of our country gives him, as the prime minister, any authority to hide behind any presumed law or rights that he think he might have to take advantage of the public or to take advantage of his position and to subordinate those people that are in the BTL board and the PUC board and the Social Security board and all those other boards to let him steal money from us, because that's basically what it's all about. It's stealing money from us because his company is going to be obsolete in the next couple of years and he want to collect money. He and Mr. Ashcroft probably had discussions about it before, and then one self-finance company to us, and somehow or another he got all people to suborn to him to get them to do what Mr. Ashcroft and him have concluded on. And they want to rip us off. And we're supposed to just watch what's going on and pretend like, well, whatever they want to do, he's the prime minister, let him do what he wants to do. No, that's not it. He can't just hijack us and steal from us like that. Barefacedly. Crazy. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes, Leonard, you're so right. And it seems that Leonard, the public at large is really speaking out, right? On all four corners of the nation of Belize, that garners the and needs the communication company. Um, and then yeah, I says, right, that his Northern Caucus supports that. They came out publicly. I don't know if they got that ascension from their constituency or that it was just them individually. So why I say this now? Something is going on because this man, Julius Espat,
Mm-hmm.
he's a minister in government. He said on a news interview, Leonard, today that you know we had said all along that we will await the decision. You see, they are on the same agenda, the same track. We are in cabinet. He said, and oh, by the way, cabinet is sworn to secrecy, Leonard. They
Mm-hmm.
should not discuss what goes on in cabinet. That's what that man says. I take great offense on that, right? Because that is the cabinet is not a private a room, a private. No, people elect you in cabinet. These people
To serve the
elect
people.
you.
To
So
serve the people. And the
why
people's business is public business.
people's business is public business?
They're crazy.
So
Yes.
they all says that, Leonard.
Bamboozling.
Even Johnny Briceño says that. Their leader says that, right? So anyway, he goes on to say, he says, and how he's upset because the Northern Caucus endorsed that venture, that acquisition venture. He says, but it was decided in cabinet that they will not take a stand until BTL board sits and make their decision. So how dare this guy again, Leonard? You hear BTL now, you hear what the chairman says, Leonard, the Lizaraga guy, the brother of the next gen company. He
Mm-hmm.
said that the BTL is a private entity and the public does not need to know. He said, but
He's, he's trying to play
he
us
says,
for fools, Mr. Chairman.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
trying to play us for fools. That
he
we're not supposed
says
to know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
also, yes, Leonard, he also said, he says that what they do, they inform the public what they discuss. Now, make sense to me, Leonard.
It's not a
Make
private
it make
board.
sense.
It's not a private board, nor is it a private company. It's a public company owned by us. And we have the privilege to have the Prime Minister that we elect appoint these members to serve our interests, not their own interests or to serve some other interests. It's our interests, it's our company, it's our affairs. And when they're going to talk then kind of craziness to us like that, it either mean that they really don't know, which means they shouldn't have been appointed in the first place, or they know, but they're trying to bamboozle us, lie to us while picking our pocket. Each, any which way I go with it, based on what they have presented so far, shows that they're a bunch of scoundrels and they don't need to be trusted and they all need to be fired, first and foremost. Because either they don't know their job or they are suborning the responsibility and fiduciary responsibilities that they have to the government and the public to do things that serve the public interest. And if the people are saying they don't want it, the government can't stand one side and say, well, let BTL and let Smart or whoever else not go ahead and work out a deal and whatever they decide, so let it be. It's not for them to decide, especially against the will of the public. We, the public, own the shares of the company. We have majority. We should be able to decide what is and isn't. And they can hide behind uh, a few people that have bought a few of the shares them to say, well, on behalf of those people who bought the shares, that they're going to turn around, buy something that is contrary to good practices in our name and with our dime. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'm
No,
taking
no,
up much. Uh,
I want you to, to let it make sense, right? You
it
know.
doesn't make no sense. And I'm of the opinion that I will not allow myself to be bamboozled by these jackals because their agenda is not to the public good. And they feel like because they were elected and put in position of trust, that they should betray that trust and it should be all right. There's no laws that allow them to violate that fiduciary responsibility. There's no moral or ethics or any principle that allows them to be able to do what they're trying to do to us barefacedly and pretend like we shouldn't be bothered. Just let them have their one way with us. But anyhow,
So,
are you
so
up,
yes,
sir?
thank you, Leonard. Yes. So here you have my people right there. How much on that board, Leonard? Five of them? Six?
Uh, I don't recall exactly the number of them.
So okay, five or
It's always an
six.
odd number. No,
Yeah,
it will be
let's
five
say
or seven.
five. Yeah, let's say five. I think it's five. I think I could remember hearing the number five. And Leonard, it's so unfortunate that these five individual is okayed, was okayed by the Prime Minister and the People's United Party ministers and the cabinet. They are the one that okay these five people. Nobody else, because these people didn't put in their application, Leonard, to sit on that board. No, they were handpicked.
Hmm.
You see, now they are awaiting, right? Now, who you think that these people, and you always, for some few interviews now, Leonard, if you listen to the Prime Minister, Mr. Briceño, well, the BTL board has an obligation, and they will have to come up with the best interest for the people. Who is that man fooling?
That's, that's exactly what I was going to ask permission
Okay,
to
thank you. Go
address this.
ahead.
Can I explain
Go ahead.
those who are listening to us and will be listening to us hereafter some basic business principles that these jackals are trying to pretend that they don't know about? For example, in any company, whether it's a private or a public company, the individuals who own the shares have a voice that should be looking after their interests in that board. That's how the board members are appointed, to look after the interests of the shareholders. In a private company, before they have a board meeting on any particular divestment or divestment, however you want to pronounce it or state it, the shareholders, the board members must be notified and given the information that they can get in contact with their shareholders to ask them how they want their shares to be voted in that board meeting. In a public board, like for example the ones that we have there with BTL and the PUC or any others, for example. But let's stick with BTL because that's we're trying to make the show be germane to the specifics. And I don't want to be wandering off, trying to explain too many other details. I want to stick with the board. The BTL board right now is appointed by the Prime Minister, who's supposed to have the trust of the people and looking after the interests of the people, especially as the Finance Minister being Prime Minister as well, one and the same, that those board members are not on that board beholden to him as an individual. They are beholden to him who has the trust on behalf of the public, who's supposed to be informed about how their business is being run. The Prime Minister can't get up one day and say, well, you know what? My brother wants to sell his company. So I'm Prime Minister and I'm going to direct the board on behalf of the people, since I have the people's trust, direct the board to cut a deal with my brother because he is my brother. I have more allegiance to my brother than I have to the shareholders of the company. So I'm going to direct the board to commit a crime against its own shareholders. That's illegal. That's unethical. That's unprofessional. That's unlawful. And it's unconstitutional. It's immoral, unethical, and you could use a whole lot of other derogatory clarification terms to explain what that is all about. That is to say, they're screwing us. The Prime Minister has no authority vested in him to pull that off. Because then he's hiding behind shadows to ingratiate the authority vested in that board to cut a deal to serve his brother. His brother is not a part of this deal in terms of being a shareholder in BTL, other than just as a public member, was a person,
Thank you.
another member of the public.
Thank you.
So he has no authority with which to go ahead and commit such a crime against us.
Thank you. Thank you, Leonard.
I yield
Well
back,
said.
sir. Thank you very
Well
much.
said. And I want to welcome the chairman for tonight, Mr. Gregory Brackett. I graciously hand the show over to you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wade.
Thank you.
Good night to you, gentlemen. It's
Good night.
always a pleasure
Good night,
sitting
Mr. Chairman.
virtually with you guys on the platform.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night to
Thank
you,
you,
the
sir.
Belizean people at home and abroad. I want to thank you for tuning in to this 300 and 95th edition of Belizean Affairs. Gentlemen, I was listening to your conversation and you guys bumping head over this obnoxious bill. To be or not to be, seems to me the present government is trying to take the sugar out of the bun and then put it in back in some ways that will not make the bun taste the same way. And they are having a problem doing that. So, with that said, I don't know how you, the people at home, see it and how you gentlemen sitting with me see it, but if I go back to what was said by the present Prime Minister and his government, the people gave us a mandate. So now the question is, why aren't you listening to the people who gave you the mandate? Because you know what happened? It don't take one that long to see the nepotism and the cronyism mixed with politicalism that they are trying to use to get this bill passed. And firstly, I want to say, because I want to dissect them, political tragedy. When you want to go to your northern caucus and they agree with you, Mr. Prime Minister, that is not the people who gave you the mandate. That is your political incline and they don't have no voice. The voices come with democracy and democracy come with national interest and it's been held in the hands of the people. So if you want to know if you have a mandate by the people to do what you want to do, it's not election time. Let's have a referendum and see where you stand. That is what I believe.
Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt
Go
you,
ahead,
sir?
Mr.
I,
Brackett.
um, I agree with everything that you have said just now, but I think, okay, I've always hear you say that these people operate with a narrative, which we have all agreed is true. But the narrative that they're allowing us to run with and focusing on while they're esconding and ripping us off is not the narrative that we should be trying to spend our time diddle daddling on. The fact is that we are trying to inform the people. There are some people who really don't understand these esoterics. Others do understand, and some of them are complicit, as a matter of fact, outrightly so. The point is that they are trying to have us, as the BTL board chairman says, focus on the fact that it is a company and a company's asset and how they want to run those assets or what they want to do with those assets. That is the focus of their attention, and that is that the outside people that are not members of the board or that are not employees of the company or that are not directly involved in the day-to-day management of the company on our behalf, because it's a public company that we, the public, own. They're trying to say the first thing the man get up and said the first time he was interviewed is that it's a public-private company and they have to operate under private um, uh, um, uh, rules, which means that they don't have to come to the public to get a quiescence and or to tell the public what they're doing with the public business in closed doors in these board meetings. That is that they could cut any kind of deal, be treacherous to us as they are attempting to do, and because they decided we should just go along with it. Bull crap. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So they're having us chase this idea that we have to clarify to the public, which we actually have been doing for a long time now, about what is right and what is wrong. What is right and what is wrong is that it is right to have a board operate. That's part of the process, procedures, and protocol. It's part of the bylaws of the company. Okay, but nowhere in those bylaws does it stipulate that the board is empowered to betray the people or betray the fiduciary responsibility that they have to the people. And that is what we need to start focus on and stop get distracted with these idiots, the side game, just killing time while they are moving ahead and acting as if they have the authority to act in that kind of onerous way, you know, cheating us, taking our resources and invest it how they want because they are the board. They have to operate based on the rules and regulations. They have to operate in good faith and on behalf of the board, the shareholders. As a matter of fact, whether it be private or public, the final fiduciary responsibility falls on their shoulder on behalf of the owners of the shares. Otherwise, they should not be existing as a board.
Mr. Brackett,
Are you talking,
let's
Chairman?
let's put it out there and let's settle it. 33+% is owned by Social Security, followed by 49+% taxpayers' money.
That's 33.
So
That's 33 and 49. That's 82%.
so let's put it this way. The CEO and chairman is saying it's a private company. We as Belizean, let's do this. Let's buy out their little percentage they have. Just buy it out straight out without even doing any acquisition of smart. Get
But,
rid of them
but Mr.
because what
Chairman,
they have is less than
yes,
what they are trying
but we
to
shouldn't be focusing
acquire.
on that, is my point.
Wait, go
We are
ahead,
allowing these
Mr.
guys,
Chairman. Oh,
we are, sir, Mr. Chairman, we are allowing these guys to have us run interference on their behalf. We need to nail
Mr.
into the
Brackett,
wall.
let me
Go
finish
ahead, though. I'm sorry.
before
Yes,
you
sir. Yes,
input.
please, please. Uh-huh.
Let us buy them out because what this private company is speaking about has less than what they're trying to buy smart speednet for. They're about 8% or maybe a little bit above that, if you
But
see
that
where
is
I'm
not
coming from.
but that is not the issue, Mr. Chairman, which is why I
The
ask you to
issue is this. The
yes, sir.
issue is this. You do not have the money to do this deal to buy smart speednet unless you have the backing of the people's money, meaning social security and government, which
But,
is
Mr.
taxpayers.
Chairman, without being disrespectful to you, or would you allow us to have a back and forward open discussion on this matter? In the sense that I know you have to direct the chairmanship the way you wish to do, and this is your program for tonight. But just in the interest of in the interest of public awareness or public education purpose, could could you allow us to just banter with each other a little bit back and forward without my having
So
Well,
I
it's my turn.
surely,
It's my turn after this,
yes,
then.
yes,
Because you
yes,
get
I
your turn.
surely
yes, yes,
appreciate
You get
that.
your
yes,
turn.
But
I want
before
my
we
turn.
do, listen, Mr.
I want
Wade,
my turn. Thank
go
you.
ahead,
because
go ahead, sir.
tonight between me
Go ahead,
and
go
you,
ahead.
Mr. Brackett,
Yes, yes, we will
from one
Because
banter.
bracket to the next,
Yes,
we
sir.
will
it's
make
about
it make
education.
sense.
It's
Hey,
Go
well,
about
ahead,
education.
Leonard,
Go ahead.
you get
Go ahead,
your
Mr.
let me
Mr.
go
I
ahead,
yield.
time.
Mr. Wade.
I yield. No,
Okay.
I was just making a request, right? Because
Okay,
I know.
but Greg,
But,
Mr.
anyway,
Chairman,
anyway,
listen, I 110% agree with what you said,
same
right?
here. Same here.
The long and short story, the public has more
Assets.
percentage, more
Mm-hmm.
assets in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I try to break it down now to at least small change where the little layman could understand.
Mm-hmm.
We send your brother, him and Ashcraft and the family has how much percent, right? 18%, right?
No, no, Mr. Wade.
That's why they
They
try. That's
have
why
nothing. It
And how
has
much?
nothing
they
to
not got
do with them.
they not got nothing to do with. That's why I try to say we need to
The
we
private,
What you say?
wait, we are speaking about the private company that is private public that Mr. Lizaraga is speaking about.
No,
That
listen.
has minor
you see.
percent
Okay,
That's
now,
why.
okay,
That's
make it.
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Wade. That's why I was asking for that special request just
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
okay, it'll come
Because
to you. It'll come to
just
Yes,
you,
let,
Leonard.
let
Wait,
me
wait,
let
wait,
and
wait,
Mr.
give it
wait,
Wade
back.
wait, wait,
finish.
wait, wait,
Just one,
wait, 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 wait.
just get and give it back to
Let
Mr. Wade.
Mr. Wade finish.
Yeah, yeah, man. Before the thing go, the clarity is in my mind right now. I just want to contribute to what Mr. Wade is saying, and I'm trying to say that what we should be focusing on is the acquisition issue, not the ownership. And
Yeah, you gonna focus on that. You will get that. You will get that. No,
yeah,
let
yeah.
me
Go ahead, go ahead.
let me
Let me back
finish.
up.
Let me
Back up.
finish, and then I'll
Yeah,
pass
yeah,
it to you,
yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. And another thing for the layman term, I always go upon the people who no got no education then as to how we the kuno mono. We know we stupid, we know they understand for we brains as functionable as these
Bunch of
individuals,
jackals.
right? Yes, okay.
The jackals, you call them.
I asked Mr.
I call
Chairman,
them.
which money? Again, cause this is something where we need for banter with which money Briseño and his people is going to use. Which money? Is he going to put up how many millions, Mr. Chairman?
80 million.
So let it make sense now, Leonard. Where is this money is going to come from to share between him and Ashcraft?
Can
Let
I
it make
explain that?
sense.
Can I explain that part quickly for you, Mr. Chairman?
I,
Mr. Wade? Quickly.
I hand over
Okay.
the floor to
Yes, sir,
you.
because I did do an analysis of that, and so I just want to take the privilege to explain that a little bit more clearer.
Yes, sir.
The the money that they're going to take, the $80 million, 10 million of it they're expecting to get upfront, and the other $70 million of it they're expecting to get paid. I think it's either 4 or 5 years. Okay, so
No, 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 Mr. Brackett.
I can finish. I can just I'm about to finish,
I
sir.
don't want you to finish because I want to have this with you and me. Because what you talking
Go
about
ahead.
don't make sense. If we have 82%, why you want to
Sir,
take your
sir, you still
10%?
you go back, you retrogress
Yes,
again.
hold on.
You
Because I want
retrogress,
you to
Mr.
make it
Chairman.
make sense.
Yes, but you did talk
If
about the
we
BTL.
have
You did talk about the BTL,
82%,
but you did talk
if
about the
the people
BTL.
own 82%,
Oh
how
man,
can you claim private company when you don't even have
but, that, but,
majority
but that's a
shares?
different point. That's a different point of
No,
order, and
no,
that's why
that is the
I'm
point.
trying to explain to you
That
that
is the
we're
point.
mixing them up. Wait, but we are mixing them up, and we shouldn't be doing that because then people are going to get misled. Just like how Mr. Weird had the wrong impression just now,
Okay, let me
because
hear you for a second.
we're
Let me
mixing
hear
things
you.
and
No,
conflating, and we need to
straight
extract
to the
them.
point. Let
So,
me hear you straight to
first
the
of all,
point.
to Mr. Weird question, as I was answering just now, the $80 million that we're talking about is what they want to rip us off out of the BTL assets in exchange for their old defunct assets. If their stuff was viable, they would run their stuff and make their money. They wouldn't be bothering with us, or they would go and sell to some other private people so that they will get the maximum money they could get out of it. They just see if we pool of money or if we are BTL operating as a viable business, and therefore they want to cash in on us. if it ain't whole thing. That's how they go on. But the part about the question in regards to the $80 million is different from what we're talking about when you say we have 82% shares in a BTL. That's a different question, a different point of order, and not to be conflated or mixed up with the acquisition thing that they are trying to chance us with. We are not questioning BTL's percentage ownership by who and whatever. We don't have an issue with that. That's why we keep it. That's why we have it. The issue we have is that
Mr.
an
Brackett,
outside entity is trying to dip into our BTL public thing and cash out as if they because they are private. But when the chairman is talking about public private, he's not talking about those people who are trying to sell to us. He's talking about just us BTL. Okay, that's what Mr. Lazarado was referring to when he said it's a public company. He thinks that he's the chairman of a public board and
here
that
we
they will make
go.
their
So you
decision.
answering me.
Huh? I'm sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
answering me. So let me put it to you
Go
this
ahead.
way.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So let me put it in layman terms. I don't give a hell about 80 million and Speednet, Next Gen, or no other corporation. Does the private owner, as the CEO said, private company, shares value $80 million? I don't think so. Because majority of BTL is social security and government, which is taxpayers' money. Hold
Mr.
on,
Chairman,
That's
I have
taxpayers'
no
money,
hold
all
on
right?
a
It's
second.
taxpayers'
I'm
money.
agreeing with you 100%, Mr. Chairman, and I don't have an issue with that.
So that's why
We are
I
both saying
am
the same thing.
saying to put this to rest, we the people could say, just simple say to Mr. Bacon Head Lizaraga, we gonna buy you out. To end this whole thing. Then
That's
what
But
we
buy
gonna
out
do?
he's not the
bribe out
chairman.
the private part of it.
Exactly, Mr.
Buy
Ray.
out, and that's why
Yes,
I'm saying the
but,
eighteen
but,
percent,
but
the 18,
my
the
colleagues,
18%.
my colleagues,
Why
the, pro-
can't the public
the
buy
problem
that
is
out? Why
We
do
they
we
want,
can
have to come
do it.
up with?
We can do it.
Yeah, why do the public has to come up out of their purse $80 million? Why does the taxpayers have to come up
Mr. Ray,
out of their
exactly
pocket
what
eighty
I'm
million
saying.
dollars?
You have the small
Why?
shares, and you, as a private company, wants to run the whole pie. What gives
give
you
me a
that authority?
Greg.
The way
That
this
is,
whole scenario with BTA right now is like they have majority in there, and they're setting their rules, and this is what they want to do,
but you have,
right?
Mr. Weird, you have to remember
Who stands up for the public there, Mr. Chairman? Who on that BTL board will stand up for the Belizean people?
on that board, there's only, I think, one person that's dealing with the small shareholders, which is constituted or classified as private shareholders. Okay, one person out of that board, out of that group of board members that is
So
there
so the
to
vote
look
should be
after the.
no. So the vote should be no.
But that's not true.
And the
The
vote should
reason why
the,
the reason why it's not going
if
to be
you're
no.
saying, Leonard, if you're saying there's only one person and there's five, let's make it make sense, right? And they are waiting
The
for a
five,
vote.
but the five is in agreement with the four, the other four. Let's say the five of them, right? One of them is there to represent the interests of the small shareholders. The other four are there to represent the interests of the majority shareholders, which is we,
And
the public,
who are the majority?
we, the Belizean people, through social security and through government money. Okay? So, by any stretch of the imagination, if that board was to be functioning correctly, without the influence of the prime minister trying to direct them and canvassing among them to let them suborn their authority and their decency and their morals or whatever else they have, if the prime minister were not putting things in their head and putting pressure on them to the point of having one of them already walk off the board and replacing that other one, right? The end result would be that those people would be able to vote on behalf of their shareholders whom they represent, those four, which means that us, the public, our interest would be on the, would be taken care of by those board members on our behalf. That is not the case. They have more allegiance to the prime minister who put them in that position there and they have to us the people who own those assets. The one shareholder, as we're
You
saying,
right on that?
But Mr. Brackett,
You right on that?
they're
Mr.
hiding
Brackett,
behind the fact that
let's
there's
be
one shareholder,
real, right? Because you beating up yourself and the Belizean people beating up themselves, right?
sir. And the only
Let
reason
me
why
put
that
it
sounds,
this way.
wait, Mr. Chairman, the only reason why it sounds like that is because we're speaking to multiple issues within the same breath. And we're setting up, like I'm trying to ask you to let us not do a situation where people are going to be hearing two different conversations on two different points of order and conflating them, mixing them up, and not understanding what is really at stake. We need to put a stake to the heart of these guys by clarifying these matters to the public so at the
Okay,
simplest level, people can
what is
take it
at
and run
stake,
with it.
Mr. Brackett?
That's my
Tell
concern.
me, what is at stake?
Number one, we have an acquisition that the Prime Minister is trying to force down the throat of the public or the country because of his power position. Okay, first and foremost. While he's doing that, pretending to be hiding his hands because he's telling us he's not canvassing these people. And we are finding out that he's damn well canvassing the people
Is
because
that what you
he's been told,
consider
wait,
is at stake?
wait, hold it, Toledo. Sir, I'm
But we
saying,
already talk about that, Leonard. We
yes,
already talk
but
about that.
the question is asked, and I'm trying to answer it, but I'm trying to provide the information background on which the question will be understood. Because you cannot just ask a question, talk
I think
around it,
I think we
and don't
already
give the substance. The
yeah.
substance is critical.
I think
People
we
need to
already
understand the substance.
I think we
Yeah,
already move from that.
yes, but we have the issue, two issues, like I'm saying. One is the BTL ownership and minority and majority shareholders as regards to public-private status. We have, secondly, the BTL attempt to acquire on behalf of Mr. Ashcroft and the Bishenios their asset to add it to the BTL. Those are two different issues. Our problem is not with the BTL, whether it's public, private, or whatever the circumstance. We know, most of us who are talking about this thing know exactly what we're talking about, and we know that we're comfortable with that. We never had a problem with that all this while until this secondary issue about acquiring some other private assets that are different from the private asset that we know still control under BTL, which is why the chairman of the board is trying to hide behind that to do the favor on behalf of the prime minister and his family, to say that
Mr. Brackett,
it's a public, private, but to him, because private is involved in some way or another, they can hide behind the issue of
Mr.
being a
Brackett,
private
how
asset.
long you going to take to explain what is at stake?
Go ahead,
Because
Mr.
what
Chairman.
you beating yourself on is not what is at stake. What is at stake is our constitution, the Telecommunication Act that is enshrined in the constitution that the present government is trying to bypass by not going to the House and
How many,
making it
Mr.
seem
Chairman,
as though
how many
he
people
has
understand those
no
legal
respect
esoterics?
for our constitution or the laws of this country.
Mr.
That is
Chairman,
what is
how
at
many
stake.
how many of our Belizean people, both at home and abroad, understand those constitutional legal esoterics, sir, that you and I are talking about? Unless
That
somebody
is
explains it to
why
them,
we
and they
supposed
are
to
the people
tell them.
they are the one that's going to make the difference. They have to understand what's at stake and what's going on in terms of how they are going to be affected and how they can avoid making it affect them.
That is
The
exactly
government
what we
is
are
being
doing
run by the
here.
prime minister, and the prime minister is hiding behind the shadow of the authority of governance to curry a favor on behalf of Mr. Ashcroft and his family. All
All
of us
that
know that.
So
does not
All of us,
so my
matter.
my, my question is,
all of us
Mr.
know that.
Chairman, Mr.
Uh-huh.
Chairman, after this vote, the cabinet is waiting for the board to do its job.
The
Then the
board should not be
cabinet
having any vote
Mr.
on
Wade,
then the
information.
cabinet will act. What do you think will happen, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Wade, it could be 5 votes, 10 votes, 1 million votes. It is null and void.
Who gonna do that, Mr. Chairman?
It is left to the people. I don't care how the government wants to do it,
Precisely is my
unless
point.
he
Precisely is my
goes
So,
to the
The
cap,
people must know what the hell is going
hey,
on. If
unless
they
they
don't know, they
go
can get
so,
used, misused, and
to the
abused.
National
so,
Assembly
so, Mr.
and
Chairman, you
amend.
think, Mr. Chairman, you think Wednesday's riot in front of the Social Security Board, you think they will get there in time before they make a vote?
Mr. Wade, you don't even have to riot. It is going to be attacked by judicial review. We have a constitution that protects itself. The Telecommunication Act is an act of parliament. No other law that is not amended
Miss-
and go
Mr.
through the National
Mi-
Assembly.
Mr. Chairman, I asked a question. I'll cut you off. Who you think will take them to court?
Any Belizean that is an elector can take them to court.
Do you think that will happen?
It definitely will happen. It will
Uh,
happen because you know what? That is why they're trying to pass this law the other day in the House and to say anyone who does anything like that, like these people on the board, cannot be charged criminally. They are trying to protect
Well,
themselves
Mr.
from
Chairman,
exactly what they're trying to do.
Mr. Chairman, I, Rudy Wade, right? We'll wait and see who will have the balls and the guts. Which Belizean will take these jackals after they do what they do with BTL with
Mr.
our
Wade,
asset. I
it's
want to
the
see
Mis-
Paso Cerrado. Which
Mr. Wade,
Belizean will take
it's
them to
the
court?
same playbook the government is playing, attacking the Constitution with the PCC Act, claiming
They
it
do it,
has
Mr. Chairman. My point is they do it all the time and they get away with it. That's my
exactly. But
point.
listen to me.
And my
Let
point
me
is,
break it down
what
so
I'm trying to make clear to you, no Belizean seems to have the guts and the balls to take. It's right what you're saying. I'm not saying that's the but
we cannot say that because I took
I
my
see it
hat.
happen. I can say it, Mr. Chairman, because I see it happen. I am
But
one of,
Mr.
I am
Wade,
one of you know that I am one of a claimant that stand up, a private
right,
that takes it, right?
right, and I took my hat
constitutional
off
point.
to you. But Mr. Wade, let me run it down to you this way, right? This present government, they are attacking the Constitution
Over and over
constantly.
again, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Scofflaw.
Over and over again.
That's what
okay.
we're dealing with. A
They
bunch of
did it.
scofflaws.
They are trying to do it with the PCC Act and calling the PCC Act as though that is also a constitution. When
And
they said that also having a referendum act,
That's the kind of
they
people we're
attack
dealing
it
with.
again for
They
not
flaunt,
wanting to pay these young men
they
and
flaunt the
trying to
law.
come with the 13th Amendment and make it retroactive so that all the wrongdoings they did under state of emergency, they would walk away scot free.
Mr. Chairman,
And
we,
here we go
uh,
again. They're trying to do the same thing
same
with
thing
this
again,
detailed
Mr.
saga.
Chairman. Same thing
They
again, Mr.
know,
Chairman.
they know they must go to the National Assembly
Mr.
because
Chairman,
it is enshrined.
they will
And
avoid
and
going to the
and,
national.
and
They will
Mr.
avoid.
Chairman and
Mr.
Leonard,
Wade,
they
let me finish.
compromise. Leonard
Yeah.
and Mr. Chairman, let me say
Yes, but
this.
I'll try to deal with the
He
counter argument.
compromised the
Let me
Northern
finish.
Caucus again to go ahead with his stupidness again.
Mr.
Mr.
Wade,
A whole bunch of elected
Mr.
by
Wade,
the people, for the people, a bunch of elected officials that have been paid by the taxpayers, elected by their
Mr. Wade, they
They
constituency.
played
cannot.
no role.
They're
Listen
trying
to
to,
me.
Mr. Chairman.
He
Mr.
is
Chairman, they're
trying
trying.
to use
They,
political affiliate
Mr. Chairman,
that don't count.
they cannot go and make an SI in order to do what they're doing legally. It contravenes the Constitution.
There you
But
go.
these guys don't care.
They don't care.
They have done that over and over and
Oh,
over
get
before.
away with it.
And nobody, and even when they are being when the court tells them that they're wrong, they still brush off
It's
what the
still
court says
yes.
and then move on and do what the
You
hell they
see
want
what
to
they
do.
do with me with this chicane with my crowd, my
That's the
people
kind of
who
Okay,
people we're
are
dealing with.
abroad.
so
We're dealing with
to answer,
scofflaws,
That's just an example, a
activists.
gentlemen,
typical example.
gentlemen, to answer the question, I will show you the roadblock they have in, which in we already knew
Yes, but
they had division.
before you go there, Mr. Chairman, before you show the thing, can I point out the fact that
No,
these
sir,
people,
I want to go there
wait,
first, sir.
these people are trying to talk about writing an SI, but in that SI, it's a major poison pill that they're trying to put in there in that new SI to justify them doing what they're supposed to be
Yes,
doing now
yes,
or
yeah,
trying to do now and exculpate themselves all at the same time. That
exactly,
SI will clear them.
exactly,
Okay, they're committing a
exactly.
crime, but that SI account to them will
We'll
will,
clear
will,
them
will
from
trump
that
the
crime.
constitution.
Yeah,
How
And
can
you and
it,
I know that can't happen. You and
Mr.
I know that
Brackett,
can't happen. But that's what they're
Mr.
gonna do.
Brackett,
That's what they're
how
doing.
can a SI clear them when it is not even amending the
How
Constitution
many times
and the
have you heard
Parent
them
Act?
say the Prime Minister said it? The Mr. Shabat said it. All of them are saying the same thing. Okay, that they're going to use an SI
I don't
right.
care
Yeah,
what they say, sir. This is the hurdle they have to cross. This is the hurdle, sir. Listen,
Consultation is never enough. I think there's a misconception that you have these privately, publicly owned companies and they believe that uh, they don't have to consult with the Belizean people. That I have a serious problem with. You either own it or you don't own it, and we own it. So if we own it, then you have to come to us to ask our opinion, and that's why Cabinet was reluctant in making a position because it was waiting for all the consultations to happen, including with the media. The media is extremely important in this. The concern that the media has if you have a monopoly and it can affect them in the future is something that has to be addressed. And it has to be put in place before an agreement is done. It's just my point of view. And that we need competition, well, from the day I was born, that is what I believe in having competition. And the reason that you have two telecom companies is because the concept of competition was there from the beginning. So I have listened to what BTL has had to say, and as a company, any company wants a monopoly. Channel 7 would want it, Channel 5 would want it, plus TV would want it. Everybody in the business community would love a monopoly, but that doesn't mean that it is in the best interest of the consumers, and that is where I believe we have to be looking at and considering.
You
do you
were
see?
present for the cabinet meeting
Yeah.
when BTL. You didn't request that the prime minister step aside due to conflict of interest.
He proposed, and cabinet decided that it wasn't necessary.
Why?
That was a cabinet decision. Yes, I understand. I understand everybody's point of view.
this is why, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I specify in the last couple show, he don't want to take it to cabinet because it will not fly in the National Assembly. Not only the business senators is against it, but he have his own colleagues and the present government are having in-house fighting.
Because they see what's happening. Some of them at least allow their conscience to bother them. But at the end of the day, he won't ram it through any which way he can do it because he's working or doing something on behalf of the majority shareholders of Smart, which is Mr. Ashcroft. They had their deals already cut, decision made, then get and talk on the phone, back and forward, and the marching orders are in. Mr. Ashcroft want out of the system, out of the telephone system, at least temporarily for right now. And the agreement is that BTL will facilitate him getting out by BTL buying his private venture. He have what 80%, I think, or 82, 80, no, 77.5% he has, and the Brazilians they have 22.5%. The difference.
we're
Okay,
talking about smart, my people. We're
Smart,
not talking
right?
about
Yeah,
so don't get
right.
yeah.
Let's always remember to do that to clarify because I don't want people get mixed up. No, but what I'm saying is that the what we have as an issue and we need to stick to and try to clarify and explain to the public and spend free time on is to tell the public that we do not want to buy smart. And why we don't want to buy smart is because smart is not a viable option for us to improve our quality of services in the near future. It's just a baggage that we are going to facilitate somebody else dumping off on us, take all of the profit for the next 5 years for their pocket. And we will be left with their
Mr.
outdated
Brackett,
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
We don't want that, regardless of where
Mr.
BTL is
Brackett,
or isn't.
Mr. Brackett,
Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
if you want to educate the people on what is happening, right? Can you put aside everything about acquisition and tell the people constitutionally, as you do on Friday, why it's a part of national interest and why it must go to the National Assembly without even mentioning
But
anything
Mr. Chairman,
about that.
we shouldn't even have to have a discussion on that particular issue because at the end of the day, it would be good for Smart to continue existing, or any other company for that matter of fact. Competition is healthy in a healthy democracy. The only reason why they are talking craziness now about wanting us to observe Smart, I'm not Smart,
But
yes,
you
Smart,
going,
is to
sir,
serve a personal interest of the prime ministers and their
sir,
family cashing out.
Yeah.
constitutionally,
It's a
I go
simple
to you,
issue.
Mr. Wade, because
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman,
mhm,
you see that tape you played there just now? You see, this is the only meter because each one of us have our own different opinion. Leonard has his different opinion. You have her, and I have mine. Right? You see that guy? That guy smell the bacon burning, right? And that guy knows that something is going to happen. So he find that little opportunity there to put that to the public that he is not with that now because that bacon is about to burn if they not turn it over on the other side, right?
And he know they get
And
on.
he want to exculpate himself so he could look at it like the good guy. He will tell his constituency, the Kyle South constituency, you know what? You watch that. I was against that. And think, vote for me again. You know, I don't want to fight there and I don't want this. And that's all he's playing at, right? So that page that there was on.
So weird. I think you smell the rat too, sir.
Mr. Wade,
So, Mr. Chairman, right? Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
say this, Mr. Chairman, and I'll stick by that. That I will wait to see the vote from Mr. Bacon, and then I will see what cabinet is going to do. Because
But
you hear that, man. I say
Mr.
no
Bacon,
more. Back to you, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
thank
Chairman,
you, Mr. Wade.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Bacon is not supposed to be making any decisions in terms of a board meeting on this matter until he gets direction from cabinet. Cabinet having it back where then they try to use the man as a front to exculpate themselves. Okay, cabinet is responsible to us, the
You,
people.
you, Mr.
We
Brackett,
elected
you're
them.
going
We
right
gave
back
them the
to the
government.
same page. You're not putting it in layman terms.
Well, then at least let me have my difference of opinion and be able to state it. You know,
Mr. Wade,
that's
let
all I'm
me
asking
say
for.
this right. Mr. Espat has always been a voice, regardless of party, for the people. He goes and comes, but he has no issue standing up and telling his party when they are wrong. And I want to say that
That's the track record so
outright,
far. That's the track record so far.
That is
okay? But
conveniently.
I
I,
want to,
I go farther to say he do that conveniently.
right,
He's
but
a
I want to
Remember, he's
put
a
it in this
politician, right?
way,
Like you said.
in layman terms, right?
Uh,
Let me put it in layman terms what is happening in this BTL saga. The government wants to make laws for outsiders, as in the 13th Amendment, because They claim gangbangers are killing each other and killing too much people. They want to make the 13th Amendment to prevent government from paying these young men who win a case against them. And they want to make it retroactively so they get no money. But then, in the reverse psychology, the government wants to lend its hand to help this private company break the law and have a vote outside of the Constitution and the law to acquire a company illegally, even though the Regulation Act and the Telecommunication Act is saying it should not be done.
Yeah, Mr.
So
Chairman?
then we must ask
Sorry.
ourselves, what type of government do we have? Is it a people's government or a self-enrichment government?
Mr.
And as far as I can see, this government, especially the Prime Minister, is using his executive power for self-enrichment in what I call, and I will stick with it, legalized conspiracy.
I
You going, Mr. Ray?
I
You going?
asked
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, and on one question, that's a crime, right?
It
That's
is a
my
crime,
point.
Mr. Wade.
And the next question is that who will
Do the
charge him?
prosecution. Nobody. Because
Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
them,
Right, back to you.
to them, they are setting up the whole of this thing as if it's all a legal, constitutional, and lawful operation. Okay? So they have the public purse to back them up to go to court and defend whatever position they want to defend
Yeah,
and run whoever wants to stand
yeah.
up against them
Sad,
in the ground.
real sad.
We're dealing with a bunch of rascals. We are dealing with a mob, or say a bunch of mobsters. Then, in other words, we're dealing with a bunch of mobsters under the guise of a government, using and having control of the levers of government to facilitate a private company taking advantage of a public company. The public
Miss,
company being a company that we own, and the private company being something that they own. That's what's really going on. Okay, suborning the powers of government to do a ripoff
Mr.
in the wide
Brackett,
open public.
isn't that the Monroe Doctrine right there?
Mr. Chairman, I ask
Mr.
if I
Brackett, hold
may.
on, Mr. Wade.
Okay,
Isn't that the Monroe Doctrine, sir?
No, sir. That's the
How
Belize
come not?
Constitution. That is, no.
it's
The Monroe Doctrine is different than the Belize Constitution.
Yeah?
We're deliberating issues that relates to
Mr.
the Belize
Brackett,
Constitution as being
under
preeminent.
the Monroe Doctrine,
That has nothing to do with Belize.
the U.S. used democracy to infiltrate and take over wealth, as in minerals and oil,
but
under private company. The
Kleptocracy.
present BTL chairman is trying to use that to take over Belizean assets. It is the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. They have nothing.
Are you going to tell me
Miss,
that, Mr. Chairman, are you implying then that all birds are the same, one and the same birds? That there are no different categories in terms of the species of birds?
There
Miss,
is different
That's where confusion
categories.
and mix-up and misunderstanding comes from.
Mr. Chairman, I asked you right, and Leonard. Um, Leonard, you state the type of people we are dealing with. Greg, you point out how they try to exculpate themselves when they are caught.
Mhm.
They go and make laws to says, well, the laws that they are making, the
Informal
things,
laws.
the things that they have done. This law that I make, you can't charge me because I don't make one law where you can't charge me, right?
That is why they
Okay.
talk about SIs.
Yeah.
And
So,
once they make SIs,
Mr. Chairman and Leonard, since
once a
we,
scam.
we, we already beat these guys and they go and they run and they hurdle in a little room and they try to come with the 13th, then they come with that and this and that and other ways to go about. They after that pie, but the pie then get stopped for that pie. So then go on and run like all wrong for get back to that pie how they could. So Mr. Chairman, I ask, and you think that they will come back with another amendment?
Mr. Wade,
in
let
in
me,
another in another
Mr.
form, in
Wade,
another fashion, in another.
Mr. Wade, let me put it to you this way and the people at home and abroad. And I want to specify it. The Prime Minister of Belize will know what is happening because he have learned man and woman around him. And in a tape, he personally said they will go ahead and do what they're doing. And if push comes to shove, my word, then they will go to the house and amend it.
Legalize it. That's what I'm saying
All
when I
right?
refer to the fact that they keep repeating this
Saying the
SI
same.
bogus business
Yeah.
is to get an SI out there that would seem to exculpate them or justify them being able to legally, morally, and lawfully do what they're trying to do. These guys are, it's not that they don't know what they're trying to do. They know what they want to do. How to get it done is the problem. And because we are putting up obstacles in their way, we are
And you
blocking them
know what?
at every way. We are
They,
exposing them at every step of the way. They can't
right,
tolerate that kind of stuff.
right. And you know what is the truth, Mr. Wade and people at home and abroad? It cannot be done. You know why? The Telecommunication Act, when it comes to BTL, is enshrined in the Constitution. They
Yeah,
cannot move it.
Mr. Chairman,
Mhm.
you're 100% correct, sir. But these guys are not depending on 100% correct. They depend on 30%, you know, subordination.
You know
Let,
what
let,
that
make a finish the statement. 30% subordination of of the process or the system. Because everything you said just now, like I said, is 100% correct, lawfully, legally, constitutionally. They will make an SI and pretend that, you know, making that SI allows the board to make a decision, and that board will make that decision. And once that board make that decision, Mr. Ashcroft will use that to hang around the government neck. He wants his money. He wants his money. And if they make an agreement to say we will buy you out so you could get your money, and so the Brazilians could get their money too, they, unless they get their money and the whole of this thing goes through, if for whatever reason it goes through and they still get court to rule against them, they could care less who wants to sue the prime minister for allowing a bogus job to happen under his watch to serve his family members then and his body, Mr. Ashcroft. They have all the money, they have all the access, they have everything that will help them to weather the storm. The bottom line is that Mr. Ashcroft wants his part of his money, and he could care less what happened to the other people, as he said in his own word when he put out that release the other day, that press release the other day. That's what he was intimating. That's what he was saying. And the prime minister, somewhere, somehow, somebody made some serious commitment to this gentleman, and for that reason, don't care what kind of objection they come up against, they will fight the battle all the way through to succeed at getting that stuff done. Now,
Yeah.
you could fight them after the fact. You could hear them in a court because the amount of time that they're going to take to have a court hearing or a case hearing
They
is
control all that.
long. This stuff will be long done and over with while that court case goes to the court. And depending on which one of the judges then you get, you might get one on Honduras, for example. We're just ruling the government favor, regardless of what the
I I
constitution
I
says.
I
I've
I
had that
don't
happen
see
already.
that.
We have had that happen already.
I
3 times
know,
in a
but
row.
I
three
don't see
times in
that.
a
I
row.
will tell you why, Mr. Wade and people at home and abroad. The Telecommunication Act is an act of parliament. All right? TUC, which is a regulator, gets its power from
I see.
the Parent Act. And the Parent Act gives them the right to
See?
regulate for fair competition. And it gives them
Uh,
the right to
yeah,
make
I was in it.
regulation
No, no,
that can be backed by
no,
a
I did that.
SI
Oh,
signed by the telecommunication minister. But what the act
talk to
does
me
not
later
give them
before you go
the
sleep.
power to write any
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry.
regulation
I
that
just
can trump the Parent Act. This has been tested in the UK, it has been tested in the Caribbean, and the court has backed it down. Anybody wants to look it up, it is there for them. It
but
cannot happen,
Mr. Chairman,
no matter how you
Mr.
look at
Chairman,
it. Even if they go to the High Court and a judge side with them, and
Mr.
somebody appeals
Chairman,
to the
Mr.
CCJ,
Chairman,
they
what you're
will lose
saying,
it.
what you're saying, we have as a track record already three times in a row, sir. And we're not arguing with you about the point. All we're saying is that because of the track record, recent track records that we have established, if that issue goes to Mr. Hondura or one of the other people
Excuse me a second,
bastardize
gentlemen.
that
Continue.
bastardize or system of governance, they could just rule incorrectly, and then you could just then take the matter further, which will use up more time, to the appellate court. And the appellate court might give you vindication, and the government is going to say, okay, well, they're not going to sit idle by. The appellate court give you vindication. They want to go to the Caribbean Court of Justice. They have the money, they have the lawyers, they have everything to go there. It won't cost you extra money. Who believes they're going to have the money to go through those phases in order to have the Caribbean Court then vindicate them? By then, Mr. Ashcroft done gone with the money. That's not going to come back out of his. Once BTL sign the agreement, then vote to accept the proposal. For Belizeans, that matter is as good as dead. Nobody else is going to have the ability to sustain fighting that uphill at the other levels of the court to gain vindication. Because even if you gain vindication, that will be 2-3 years down the line. By then you're dealing with with the same government, probably in a different term, or another government in a new term.
Mr. Leonard, you're so right. Like, we are not saying, he the chairman is 100% right, right? But what we are saying
The
is that,
realities, sir. We have to face the realities.
yeah, the
That's all I'm concerned
reality is that, look at what is enshrined in the Constitution about redistricting, equal or near as equal.
about.
I just to give you an example, right? You see how that end up.
And
You see what they do to me, to my group, the six of
uh-huh,
us. They knock that down because they have like same thing you
why?
said, Leonard. They have a judge. They have a judge that they was suborn to them, and see
Right.
where they have us. Although it's enshrined in the Constitution, do these jackals honoring our Constitution?
They could care less. They
The
want that
road
money.
these guys are going.
They want that money, and they will have that money
So
because they got control of the pocket, of the treasury, and the prime minister is the minister of finance, and he will find a way to make that money.
the way these guys are going, Mr. Chairman, the only way that the people will get some peace and will get some, real truth and will get justice is when we get some judges that sits on the bench and honor our Constitution.
But Mr. Weir, they hire these
Otherwise,
judges.
from that, these judges that sits on these benches now, they're all compromised and they are forgetting our Constitution. And by the time we try to fight for our rights, we don't have any more money to keep fighting for our rights. And in the meantime, Briseño and all the jackals already run off with whatever they wanted, right? And they kick the ball, like you said, Leonard. They kick the ball down the road. They kick the ball down the road, and until my group that has the government in court for doing with for redistricting, they're hoping that we have no more breath to fight them, right?
But Mr. Wade, I'll go a little step further. We have these people that went to the High Court. They went to the appellate court. They went all the way to the ultimate final jurisdiction of our legal system at the Caribbean Court of Justice. The Caribbean Court of Justice tell the government, pay these people the money that you owe them. How long ago was that? What effort has been put into place?
Over a year ago, right, Mr. Chairman? About a year ago, right?
And that is, yes, sir. And that is not the only case that I'm trying to point
That's
out.
the only
being used as an example was austerity decisions at the highest level. Where else are you going to go beyond that? They refuse to implement the judgment.
Look at the stevedores.
These guys don't care about law, legality, or constitutionality.
Look at the stevedores, Leonard and Mr. Chairman.
Again,
gentlemen, if I can say this right, that is why I am not worried about what the present government is trying to do to accomplish what they want to do. You know why? Because a CCJ verdict has been passed down, and you cannot go do an acquisition without paying the people that the highest court has ordered you to pay. And this is what makes it so bad for them. Because, like I said, if they do it and violate the act, and someone goes seek judicial review, even if the High Court judge wants to side with them.
Who is the someone, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Brackett, I can do it. You can do it. Any elector can do it. Mr. Wade did that before.
We all know that, Mr. Chairman. We all know that. But is it going to happen?
Mr. Chairman, I wish Belizeans would stop looking to the sky and expect the pie from the sky.
But let me complete what I was saying.
And in the meantime, Mr. Chairman, like I said before, they're living high and dry with what they got already.
Complete what I'm saying.
And in the meantime, you see this same verdict that came down from the High Court. In the meantime, these same people that the government should reward will have to spend more money to get what they had already awarded.
There is two things
that makes sense.
There is two things happening within this country, and people is not recognizing, and I need to point it out. The government are making informal laws. They are amending the constitution informal. They are trying to run away from verdict by trying to make informal laws like the 13th Amendment. So now when they, like the BTL saga, is caught within the CCJ and they don't pay these people, if anybody, let me say this, if anybody seeks judicial review and the High Court, as you guys say, side with the government, you know what happens if they appeal to the CCJ? They will lose. They are running away.
Who will take it to these people? Just imagine, these people have no more money to go to take them to keep fighting. No more money. This poorly, tooly black boy,
even if they ain't got the money, and even if they go there and the court rule in their favor, these jackals are not following and obeying the laws of the country and the judicial process of the country. There's no separation of powers as far as they're concerned.
Dean Barrow took some laws and county struck it out, should be null and void, right? The
They're
Vixenu
still
administration, they're still using that same law that's supposed to have been struck out null and void. I don't want to go back to the early case and all that. Still using that. That should have struck out 15, 20 years ago. These suckers are still using it.
Mr. Wade and people at home and abroad, I
These are
am
the
a
things that upsets
strong,
me.
I am a strong believer in our Constitution and civil liberties.
I do too. I believe in it.
And regardless of what one may think, and regardless of how long it may take, I look up to people like the great Martin Luther King, the great Mahatma Gandhi, and I look up to the African president who went to jail for so long.
Mandela.
That is correct.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Go ahead, sir.
Belizeans need, like I said earlier, to focus on the fact that we don't have a problem with BTL even becoming a monopoly. Okay, let's take it in a different angle. Let's say, for example, BTL was being offered a pussy in a bag that they couldn't refuse. And let's say that pussy in a bag, the word, as in the case of Smart Speednet right now, was being offered for 1/4 of what is being offered for right now. Imagine that such a scenario would occur. And that BTL would, under the guise of wanting to acquire the equipment and the clientele base of Freenet Smart, right? For 1/4, what they are now trying to sell us, because right now they are trying to sell us something at twice the price as a minimum. But let's say the idea that I'm portraying would fall into place and they would offer it at 1/4 the price. I would say maybe it's a steal, so why not buy it? But for how long it's going to be a steal when in 2 or 3 years' time it's obsolete? We want to check profits for 2 or 3 years' time, increase profit because you get the extra clientele base. And then when the other system then come into play, everybody run to the new system that is providing better quality service and cheaper. And then you're still stuck with your old original BTL and Smart SpeedNet attached to that, for which you owe money that you haven't finished paying off yet. For the next 3 years, you don't make no profit, and you pay something when I be of any use to you in the
But
next 2 or 3
Mr.
years.
Brackett,
Why would you want to acquire that?
Mr.
That
Brackett,
is the
I will
conundrum that
tell
we are
you
facing
why.
today.
Mr.
Despite
Brackett,
wait. Despite the fact that whether you take out the prime minister name out of it, or his brothers, or Ashcroft, let's say it was some other private person wanting to cut this deal with us. You think we would tolerate or believe that we should be cutting or doing any such deal? The only reason why this deal is being done is as a favor to the prime minister and his family and Mr. Ashcroft.
and you are perfectly right, and I will explain to you why. I will explain to you, gentlemen, and the people at home why. You know why this is happening? Because I always say these people tell on themselves. If you are saying it is not a monopoly, Karim Musa says it is not a monopoly. The Minister of Telecommunications says, I don't think it's a monopoly. But the Prime Minister tell on himself when he said, when smart links come, they will only be allowed to work in suburban area. So how will there be competition? It means he will try to protect BTL by not
He
having the
won't be able to.
competition in Belize.
Yes,
That's
but he won't be
coming
able to.
from his mouth.
Under
So you
international
are
laws,
actually stipulating, you
Mr.
are saying
Chairman,
it's not a
Mr.
monopoly,
Chairman, whenever you
and
deal
then
with
you
any
coming back and say Well, they won't be allowed to work where BTL is.
That's
That
little.
is a
That's little
monopoly.
comfort.
It won't
That
happen. It
little
can't happen.
comfort to a fool.
Yeah,
He had at least saying, "Say little comfort to a fool."
Mr. Chairman, Starlink have real lawyers on their team. Whenever they get any accession from the Belize government through the PUC and the Minister of Telecommunication and the Utilities, they will make sure that that contract is locked down on behalf of Starlink, not on behalf of Belize or Belizean people or Belizean government, because these entities are extractive entities. The same crap that the Brazilian government is now trying to do with Belize to extract and extract and extract. They are behaving just like Mr. Ashcroft. All they want to do is extract. They don't care about what's left behind or what kind of damage get done. They sign that contract, and that contract obligate you, the Belizean people, under whatever government comes into play, to fulfill that obligation. It is signed under your name. So all the Brazilians they want right now, and Mr. Ashcroft want right now, is for BTL board members to just give the inclination, even if it's just a temporary acquiescence. And they will take that temporary acquiescence, go to the court, and force you under international law. In fact, when it comes to the Belizean government, Mr. Ashcroft, no always sue them. All they do is threaten for sue. And they all jump and get hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, he only threatens. Yeah.
Okay? Mr.
Go
Chairman,
ahead, Mr. Wade.
can you allow me a second to remove myself for a second?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would like you hear the lady from I would say the leader of the opposition, right? The lady um, um, went public today and said she will the UDP will protest in front of the Social Security office on Wednesday. So I just hope that her presence with her UDP, would deter that voting to take place and take the Briseño fraction into another hurdle. Regroup and see what they will do next again. I just hope that, and then the hurdle that if they protest and if they haven't come to a vote, the board, the Bacon guy, I just hope that they will hurdle and null and void that deal that they are trying to put through. That's just my, my feeling and what I would like to see happen, Mr. Chairman. Okay? Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. As I was saying, when it comes to what he's saying, trying to protect BTL, right? It is really, really ludicrous. And most anyone who knows what is happening can say that,
Yeah.
because let me put it this way. Personally, I can go to Mexico right now and buy a satellite dish and get internet and everything from it.
It's there, the technology
And you
is
know
there,
what?
Mr. Chairman.
They will try to block you. Yes, you can make calls, do everything.
Mr. Chairman,
$500
Mr. Chairman,
in
you can't bring
Mexico.
it into Belize without permission, and they won't allow you to bring it in if you want to undercut any of the existing ones that we got
Yeah.
license already,
And I am glad you say that, Mr. Brackett, because that's where I was
which
going
is
next.
illegal. No, I'm just saying, but it's illegal.
Imagine.
Okay, it's
Wait,
illegal.
wait.
That's how
I
they operate.
am so grateful you said that because I want to show you guys and people at home and abroad how monopoly works.
Hmm.
Let's look at BL. BL is a monopoly. You know why? Why would you have to contact BL and pay BL a fee if you want to install your own electricity through solar panels and your private property? You have to pay them.
That's the way they structure those by laws and those
And that is
legislative and
in
protocols
violation
of the Constitution.
because that is
But they don't care.
monopoly. That is monopoly. You must pay them for you to put that on your private property.
But the PUC Act,
And it's exactly what
wait,
I
wait,
was
wait.
saying about today.
The PUC Act, Mr. Chairman, forbids them from doing that, you know.
It does.
Constitutionally, they are
It
forbidden from
does.
doing that too under
That's
section,
why we are
what
speaking
is that?
about it.
Section 7, 8.
Yeah.
But anyhow, okay. Mr. Chairman, can I, before you close off on this particular topic, can I get another minute from you?
Go ahead, sir.
I want to say that if the government is contemplating, okay, that they will allow BTL to cash out the Bessenia family and Mr. Ashcroft out of their bogus company and then turn around and have SpeedNet come in and say that SpeedNet can only work in certain areas of the country where BTL cannot reach. As said before I got left just now, Starlink and its parent companies have liars coming out their ears. And those liars are business liars. When they come and they make an international treaty agreement, which becomes an obligation with the governments that they make those treaties and agreements with, they dot their I's and T's and everything. And in most instances, the people or the small countries that they go and make this agreement with, sometimes they don't understand what the hell is in those documents are implying because they're in a lot of it is in double speak. It's legal, lawful, and but they always set themselves up so that they can end up having the advantage over these small countries. They have what you call boilerplate um, agreements that they set up, and they bend you over the barrel. By the time you finish, get to the point where you sign off the agreement with them, they're ahead of you. The agreement that you are signing is not something that you would even go and tell your people them in the country you have signed, because there should be too much of a shame. Besides that, if you try to present any problems for them, like what happened with the BSI-ASR issue, remember what the senator from Florida tell the Belizean people them, right? When that case was going on, as a senator, he can bring pressures from Washington down on Belize to crush the Belizean economy in so many different ways. Okay? Do you think that Starlink, the kind of political connections that they have, as well as international business connections that they have, would do any less than ASR BSI? Starlink is far bigger than ASR BSI in terms of their power to make and to have the State Department go to bat on their behalf. So, why I said earlier that the Bessenia government will not be able to get to a point where they will dictate to Starlink what areas to cover or not cover is because Starlink as an entity covers the whole world. And we in Belize don't have no military capabilities or no assets capabilities to block out from them being able to service areas that we don't want them to service. Even in our most critical areas, we don't have a way to guarantee our own security. Okay? So that's why I said last week, at some point, BTL will want to have an agreement in such a way that they can ride on Starlink stuff too. Otherwise, they will become obsolete. And at the end of the day, international law governs those kind of treaties and agreements. So our local Belizean law, no care how much we have and pull it, will not suffice in terms of making us whole or making us have the leverage or the ability to be able to snuff out or control Starlink and give the advantage to for we BTL. BTL is on the trajectory to become obsolete, except for marrying with Starlink or someone else, because there are other entities other than just Starlink. Okay, so it's not like well Starlink is the only will be the only show in town, but we don't have the ability to be able to force those guys to do anything on our behalf or to or to and these industries are extractive industries, like I said. Any extractive industry is not looking out for the interests of the country where they're doing their extraction. They are trying to maximize what they can extract from those countries, and that's just it's the whole card, whole the core facts that we are going to have to deal with at some point. But until we get there, we don't need to put out no 80 million or $170 million to buy no junk stuff and then turn around and don't have that money available to pay with people that we owe money to right now, like the employees them, or to upgrade or modernize free system or maintain their existing system. BTL was set up when the Belizean government came into power. It was set up to fail. Now the prime minister is coming and telling us craziness about, oh, if it doesn't acquire this smart and uh, whatever the name the other, if it doesn't acquire these things, the prime minister is now trying to tell the public, as a matter of fear mongering, that BTL will crash. It was set up to be crashed from the very instance when they put that guy, Mr. Bacon, there. That was his assignment to undermine BTL. And then the prime minister went and took away all the government contracts, which are what you call a solid block of services from BTL that BTL could have depend on to keep itself. Now you're talking questions about BTL will be losing and they won't be able to survive if they don't buy it for their junk. BTL shouldn't buy their junk and should spend their time trying to improve rather than trying to use the public money for personal convenience of their masters. Okay? But we, the people, don't have the leverage. They have the leverage because they can go and have their meeting. They can have demonstrations all day 24/7 at their office. In fact, they don't have to go at their office to have that meeting to decide, make those decisions. They can get on the phone and talk with each other, or they can get on Zoom and talk with each other, and they don't have to show up in the office to make that decision to go ahead and buy those assets. Contrary to what the public want. The hell with the public. They're not there to serve the public, which they should be. But they are there to serve Mr. Briceño. They serve at his pleasure and for his pleasure. And his pleasure has more allegiance attached to it for his family and his family money-making schemes than the Belizean people. And until we get to that point of recognizing those realities, we are just to play with half a deck of cards. I yield back, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for
Thank
the
you.
opportunity, sir.
Thank you. I want to say this before you close, Mr. Weir. To you, the people at home and abroad, I want you to stop listening to the noise in the fish market about BTL. And I want you to pay in mind that we have a constitution and we are a democratic country with laws. And why am I saying this? Because I want to put it out there to you, the people, that unless you see the Prime Minister of this country go to the National Assembly to amend the Telecommunication Act for this acquisition, regardless of what they do, or tell you or try to do with one statutory instrument, 10 aside, a million aside, and the PUC writing whatever regulation they want to, it is unconstitutional, unlawful, and illegal. Mr. Wade, I go to you for the closing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for pointing that out in terms of, yes, we do have a constitution, and it will only be honored when the judiciary, uphold our constitutional rights when it goes in front of them. Um, I just hope and pray that um, the the um, the deal that they are making, backfires because it's not right, it's illegal, and it's immoral, and that they sit down and apologize to the nation, right? That's what they should be doing. Apologize to the nation. And on that note, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you, Leonard, for such a nice program tonight. And these are burning issues that is happening in real
You're welcome,
time in
sir.
our country, right? And that's to show the nation, the people and the nation that we also on Belizean Affairs Show talks about it, and we are concerned about it. We are concerned, and we state each and every one opinion and where we stand and what we would like to see happen. And always, Mr. Chairman and Leonard, we are about our people and nation, right? And on that note, I hope that tonight's program, some beneficiary to our listening public, Mr. Chairman and Leonard, and I want to say good night to our people, both at home and abroad. And to those, Mr. Chairman, wait, and to those who are out there for this cold that is passing through
Yeah,
the
of course.
nation,
Yeah.
please, take heed and get, bungle up, get some blankets, and and stay warm. Because it's getting very cold. On that note, I want to say thank you, Mr.
Uh,
Chairman. Thank you,
Mr.
Len.
Chairman, can I say something uh, to add to Mr. We just last word that came out of his mouth about being cautious about this cold. People in Belize do not want to catch a cold or get sick from this little draft. Why? There are too many other diseases running around or roaming around. We have the regular flu. We have the COVID flu still in the country. We have about 3 or 4 different things that are out there. So nobody needs
Amen.
to get sick or wants to get sick because your immune system, especially the older folks, is not like it used to be when you was young. And if you will get sick right now for this, bundle up and stay warm during these few days, you end up with long-term problems.
Amen
So
to
that's all
that.
I wanted to add, sir. Thank you very much again, Mr. Wade, for your concern
Mr.
about
Simon,
people and their
thank you.
well-being.
Thank
I
you.
thank
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 you,
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 Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman.
gentlemen. I thank you, gentlemen, for sitting with me virtually. You are highly appreciated here on Belizean Affairs. I want
Thank
to
you too,
say
sir.
good night to you, the people at home and abroad. Thanking you for tuning in to this 396th edition. With that, I want to say good night.